All right, wonderful people. Okay, let me turn off the news. Oh, people. One second, just got the Al Jazeera going here. I'm a huge fan of Al Jazeera. Okay, if you want to know what's going on in the world, it's one of the best places to get your journalism. Okay, yeah, like check this out. Here we go. Here we go. All right, we're getting there. We're getting there. We're getting there. Oh, hey there.
Hey, what's up?
Mm, you know me. I had a rough day today, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
um, I did some exercises. Some of my exercises. I'm coming up with some more exercises for my for the final for the advanced class next month.
Hmm.
Came up with some really effective stuff, but holy crap, it just unlocked a lot of stuff. And then
Yeah.
morning I watched a video. I watched a show on people with OCD, obsessive compulsive disorders,
Yeah.
and basically unlocked like all sorts of stuff that I had been going through. And that in the combination of these exercises just was a lot for me today. A
Wait,
lot.
what's why are you bringing up the OCD thing?
I struggle with issues around social anxiety, being comfortable at night for sure, going out in public at night, feeling
Hmm.
safe, these sorts of things. And there's been things that have always been kind of in the background of my life, but have certainly come to the foreground in the last 3 years for
Yeah.
sure. And I've done 15 million exercises and they haven't really like worked, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I've been finally figuring out what does work and it
Uh,
worked. It worked. It
wow.
was a bit of a mind blow. A bit of a mind blow. Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be exciting stuff when I get to introduce it to everybody next month. So that's
Yeah.
yeah.
What's it
And
called?
welcome. Hello.
I, Dr. Donny.
Hi there. Yeah, so welcome, and I'm so glad that we have more people coming as well. I like to always start class by asking how are people doing. So let me ask, how are you feeling today, Mr. Will?
Pretty good. Yeah.
Feel free to elaborate or long or short. This is your space, so just tell me how you're feeling, okay?
Just yeah, I guess neutral. Neutral. Been reading a lot today, so yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
But I'm
Oh,
interested about the what you're talking about next month about the anxiety. What is it called?
yeah. So next month, so this class, is called Emotions for Dummies. And so next month's class is called Advanced Emotions for Dummies. And we have a month every Saturday, just like this class. Every Saturday we meet. It's 4 classes, and I give out a whole bunch of stuff about how to get in touch with your thoughts and feelings. The advanced class is advanced, so it's this class was a guide through how to get in touch with your feelings. Advanced class is more straight up getting right into inner child work.
I see.
Yeah, but I guide everybody through the whole process. So yeah. So feel free to take those classes too. Feel free to sign up. Getting in touch with your feelings is just not easy. It's just not easy. But I've done the best I can to make it as logical and purposeful and doable as possible.
Cool.
Yeah. And Mr. Anthony, how are you feeling today?
Let's see. Right now, pretty neutral.
Okay.
All right. I just was hanging out with my mom, so that's cool. Earlier today, I took an unexpected nap, and that it was nice afterwards, but I did feel like I'm messing up my sleep again. So I was trying to sleep, regulate my sleep this week, and I was pretty regular until yesterday when I started sleeping in the day again. So I was a little disappointed, but at least my energy level is all right now.
Okay. You know, I hear people got sleep, and I can't hear anything bad about that. So I hear you wanted to regulate your sleep, and it's not working out like you wanted it to.
Yeah.
I struggle with sleeping at night as well. I have to tell you though, I just feel like naps are a gift from God. They're just you know, there's like prayer and there's naps, and those are the same thing really in my world at this point. Okay.
Yeah. I don't have anything against naps in general. Just during the week that I'm trying to make sure I don't sleep at night. That I sleep at night. It's kind of hard.
Yeah, it's hard for me too. I understand. Okay, so before I begin, is there anything else anyone else wants to say, address, bring up, anything before we get started? Just some instructions.
Yeah, I do want to say that the emotional exercises from last week were pretty powerful, and I didn't practice them enough. I did it once, and I found myself resisting practicing it because I just remember how hard it was. Not that it was hard to follow the instructions, it was just hard to do, you know,
hard to feel.
Yeah, like I don't want to it's labor. It feels like labor. So but I wanted to say that it was helpful to do it with you, so with another person being present and kind of like corralling me back into the procedure when I start to get resistive. So just want to express some appreciation for that as well.
Well, that is what I am here for. Yeah, I'll just say this. I'm telling you, it is just so hard to get in touch with your feelings. You know, we all wish it could just be easier. We all wish we could just kind of like tap into the pool and we just sink in like it's a hot tub. And it just doesn't work that way. We all have all these feelings that we just have avoided feeling, you know, much of our lives. And so they're in the background, and tapping into them often just doesn't feel as great as you hope it would. But the good news is the more you tap into it, even just a little, the more you make that space, the better it will get over time. So one day you won't feel the resistance. One day you might even feel excited to tap into those feelings. But it takes baby steps, one little step at a time. You're learning how to trust yourself in a whole new way. You know, and that takes a lot of that takes some patience and time. It just does,
I feel like with emotions, it's easier when I'm alone, that I can feel them more. But when I'm like with a group of people, it's hard to get in touch with them.
Well, that's good. That's good that you know that. Yeah, you might feel the need to like maintain a feeling of what's normal or keep face when you're around people. And when you're by yourself, you feel comfortable. So that's so important. Find the spaces that make you feel comfortable when you do this work. You're never gonna feel everything all at once and just clear it one and done. Felt that, good. Now let's move on to the next thing, okay? That mentality is just totally not how feelings work at all, you know? A painter, every time you sit in front of the canvas, you sit there with the whole palette of colors and then you make decisions, you know? But the point there is there's a whole palette of colors there, and that's for feelings. And so we're just making space to be open to all of them at any time. That's the healthy way to go. And so, yeah, whatever makes you feel comfortable, those are the things we need to hold on to and take notice of and build on. Yeah.
What if
What I'm hearing you
know,
say is you might really value that special time alone to really enjoy your feelings.
but what if say it seems like I'm more comfortable with the not so good feelings than the happy, excited, joyful feelings.
The positive feelings.
Yeah, the positive feelings.
Yeah. So, that's in healing, you can only do two things. You can either deconstruct the negative or you can build on the positive, right? So either one, both of those lead to the same goal. It's just whichever one you can handle today. Yeah. So this is going to do a bit of both of those. Today's class is actually the end of the final class of our 4-part series before we move on to the advanced series. So what we're doing today is actually the midterm that I offer all my students in all my classes. Okay, so let's take a look at that. And I'll also explain all the previous classes, just so you can all be up to speed here. Okay, so I handed this out to everyone. This is the workbook on emotions for dummies. So if you like, I can share that. Do that real quick. Here we go. Yes, that has all the handy dandy info in one spot. So as you can see, on week 1, we had a discussion around self-care. We did an intro on how to meditate. There was an exercise on how to tell yourself the truth using your feelings. And then we went through a series of exercises on how to deal with trauma. Okay. And yeah, all these exercises, they all build on themselves. So the more you practice, the better they get. And if you find yourself having a hard time practicing any exercise, try a different exercise or try an easier version of the exercise. You don't have to dig into the whole thing all at once. Although I avoided saying those words until just now because these are your feelings. These are your feelings. This is your process, your feelings. Getting in touch with your feelings. It's not going to look like what it looked like for me. It's going to look like what it looks like for you here now. This here now, you, right? That's something you will have to figure out over time. So these exercises are hopefully just meant to help you get there, okay? So week 2, we had an emotions list. So we had a list of a bunch of different emotions. And then we went through an exercise on self-love, acceptance, and validation. We're going to do that again today. We also went through a Byron Katie Judge Your Neighbor worksheet, which we're also going to do today. And then last week, we had an emotional Vipassana exercise where we just sat with an emotion, really felt through the opposite emotion, because doing that breaks up our thought feeling patterns. And then we had a body scan meditation where we take the feeling and really, we examined all the feelings that in our body, going from the toes all the way up to the head, taking in particularly the stomach, our gut, our heart, and then our brain, because those are 3 areas where the body holds neurons that processes our feelings. Okay. So today, week 4, we have the final exercise, which I call the ego killer. Okay. Ego killer. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so to test your ability to use the preceding social emotional material well, I have created the following exercise that combines them together in an effective way. It works well, so I am calling it the ego killer. But don't worry, it's more of an ego corrector or stress reliever. It does work well, however, so please take much self-care both during and after this exercise. Okay, so I'll read over the instructions so you know what you're getting into. Number one is we're going to write a judge your neighbor worksheet about anything that stresses you out. I'll guide us through that process. When you get to the end of the worksheet, identify 2 emotions that came up as difficult to feel through. Write them at the top of the page. You can also combine them to make one emotion. I'll just read this. Note, these emotions may be what you wrote in number 6, but it may not. Scan over the worksheet to find 2 feelings that were hard to feel or even acknowledge. Number 3, using those 2 emotions as a single feeling, do the emotional Vipassana exercise. Feel it through with the body scan. Then find the opposite emotion and body scan that one too. Number 4, run your emotion through the hate-love range of the self-love acceptance validation exercise. Be sure to use neutral to examine each of the 5 frustrations. And then 5, do the judge your neighbor worksheet in full from start to finish and allow yourself to rest. Okay, so as you can see, I'll be guiding us through the whole process. This will take you're going to write down the worksheet of what stresses you out. And then we're going to go through a whole process of getting in touch with all the feelings around it. And then do the worksheet, question what we were thinking. And that will just break up everything. Okay, it's gonna really get you, just to really get all up in there, okay? And the cracks and the sinews of your ego, okay? That's why I love it. So typically, this is largely a hour, 40-minute, meditation on your feelings, really getting in touch, okay? I do always say, however, if anybody has any seriously pressing emotions, you're in you're in a case right now and you're working through something and it's really hard for you and you feel like you don't want to do it alone, you're more than welcome to bring up your example and then we can all run through it together as one big group, okay? I don't want anyone to ever feel like they're alone with their feelings. Otherwise, I'm going to guide us through every single step so you can go through your own internal process, okay? Because the more you get in touch with your feelings, that's what this is all about, That's what this is all about. Okay, so here we go. If you have anything to say, feel free at any time. First of all, first thing we can do is just check in on your breath. Check in on your breath. Were you breathing before now? Are you sure? Just notice your breath in the chest, in the belly. Is it deep? Is it shallow? Did it change when you brought your awareness to it? Just notice. Ooh. And notice your mind. Notice your mind. Your mind may be calm and smooth as a lake, or your mind might be the 4th of July right now. Just pop, 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 whiz, whiz, whiz. Notice your mind. All such sorts of stuff bubble up in the mind. And in particular today, we're going to focus on stress. Anything that stresses you out. Oh, I should pull up the worksheet just so you all can see the worksheet here. There's a typable one that's on Google. But you're more than welcome just to write it down on a piece of paper. I have my own personal issue today I want to work through also, because I don't know if I should share this I should share this, whatever, it's my feelings. So there you go. I haven't had sex in a year. It's been a year. It's been a year. And, at this point, I'm having a real hard time, like with the hookup culture and And you know, that's a very big thing in the gay male world, and I'm not really feeling that. And but at the same time, I got needs, you know. So I'm really wrestling with what I should do about that right now. Because you know, part of me, like, I at this point, I kind of want to save it for something special. At this point, I mean, I waited a whole year, you know. So, but you know, at other times, I'm like, I don't think I feel like waiting another 2 seconds because I just would like to kind of move on. But you know, so I'm really sitting with that. I'm really sitting with that right now. So that's what my worksheet's going to be about. You, however, should just sit with your feelings, sit with your thoughts, sit with your mind, see what comes up for you. What's stressing you out? You know, there's a lot of things going on right now. See if your mind can crystallize onto one of them. Can't tackle them all in one go. Well, maybe we can, who knows? Depending on what you write, who knows, really? So in this situation, in your mind's eye, in the stress of your life, what angers, confuses, hurts, saddens, or disappoints you, and why? When something bubbles up to the surface for you, write it in. Write it in. Thank you for letting me be open about this, because this really is frustrating me. Frustrating. And you know, it may or may not come out the way it's written on the worksheet. It's your feelings. I want to really honor your feelings. It may not come out with, I'm angry with Paul because he lied to me. It might come out like, Paul's a fuckhead and he's a liar, okay? And if that's how it comes out for you, write it down that way. Write it down that way. Okay, I'm gonna work through whatever you write down. I'm gonna teach you how to turn it around. So honor your feelings, okay?
Could I get a link to that?
Oh, sure. So the work.com is a great website to get all kinds of handouts, emotions list. But also just Googling Judge Your Neighbor worksheet also pops up in Google. Okay. Also, I'm going to take out my retainer. That is driving me crazy. Mm. Dating. So stay anchored in whatever came up for you. Stay anchored in your situation, in your mind's eye, how you felt then, what you were thinking. Stay anchored. Okay, really honor your feelings, full steam. And go on to number 2. In that situation, how did you want them to change? What did you want them to do? Usually when we're frustrated with something, we got a pretty good idea of what somebody should have did to make the situation better. So what is it for you? What is it for me here? You know, the beautiful thing about this whole worksheet is only you know these answers. You are never going to believe your own bullshit. You can bullshit other people, but you'll never believe your own bullshit. This is a really good opportunity to get in touch with your truth. And I always say, if you find yourself on a roll with your feelings, because I can kind of feel this going somewhere, just keep on filling it out. Keep on going. Just let that energy propel you. That's the beautiful thing about that. Number 3 is, what advice would you have for them? The shoulds and shouldn'ts. Number 4 is, in order for you to be happy in this situation, what do you need them to think, say, feel, or do? For you to be happy, for you to go from pissed, whatever you felt, pain to happy, hangry to happy, hangry to happy, what do you need them to think, say, feel, or do? If you had the magic wand, you could poof it all together, what would it be? And then the best part is number 5, because you get to just totally let it out. What do you think of them in this situation? Make a list. It's okay to be petty and judgmental. You know, some of us have been running from the petty and judgmental. We think those things, but we don't ever say them out loud. Well, now you get the opportunity to totally let them out. No one's going to read this but you. You get to just totally honor what you actually feel. I'd say it's better than being okay. I encourage you to be petty and judgmental. There's even like a a grain of rice of judgment and pettiness going on, I say go for it. I say go for it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's how I feel. That's how I feel. You know what? Also, feel free to make a drink while you do this. If you suddenly feel like this is getting to you, whatever you need to make yourself comfortable. Okay. Oh, yes. I'm saying that because my vape's right here. You know, I'm a huge believer of, I don't do any kind of addiction recovery. I'm not qualified to do that yet. I am becoming a counselor, so in time I will be. But I'm a huge believer of, it's okay to do the drug as long as you make space to feel through the feelings while you do the drug. Doing the drug but not making space to feel through the feelings uses the drug as a coping mechanism, but actually making space to feel your feelings allows it to be you can slowly titrate your way into opening up to the feelings. So one day the drug might not be such a big deal. Food for thought, anyway. Number 6, speaking of drugs, what is it about this person and situation you don't ever want to experience again? Usually the things in life that we didn't like, we have a reason why we don't want to go through them again. And that telling yourself that truth is not easy. It's not easy. So I'll give you all some time to work through your worksheet. Continue working on your worksheet and just take over. Just take it in what you wrote down. Just take it in. Just take it in. It's your life, you know. And just so you know, part 2 of this is to look it over and find 2 feelings that you are having a hard time with in this worksheet. Those feelings might be what you wrote in number 6, but they might not be. So just look it over and see if you can identify 2 feelings that you look this over and you know you got a hard time with that one. For example, you know, my number 6 says pointless. Like all my effort is adding up to nothing. And I'm looking this over. The other thing that looks like a hard thing to feel here, that immediately got me right in the heart, was the word hurt. It was the word hurt. There you go. So I'm just going to go right for that stab in the heart feeling, and I'm going to write hurt and pointless right there, because those are the 2 feelings that I know I'm having a hard time with. Okay, so just look over your worksheet. See if you can find anything. And you may only have 1 feeling, and that's totally okay too. And if you're struggling to find a feeling, let me know. And if you did find the feeling and you're good to go, give me a thumbs up or let me know that too. Oh. Some brave people. You got some brave people. Okay. Okay, well then, here we go. So the next part of this exercise, using those two emotions. So let's take a look at that feeling. Let's take a look at the feeling you wrote. Okay. And this is an emotional exercise here. So take a look at those feelings, and is there any way you can combine that feeling into one emotion? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. If it is, write it down. If not, then just honor whichever one is has the biggest emotional charge on you. Well, let's see. Let's see if you can combine this together. Oh, yes, I could. Yes, I could. Hurt and pointless kind of adds up to needless suffering. There you go. Sounds about right to me. Oh, okay. Okay, I could cry right now. Okay, so let me show you the emotional vipassana. Oh, actually, I don't need to show you that. I will guide us through the rest of this. So the rest of this will be a meditation. So you are free to close your eyes, get comfortable, go inside, return back to your breath. Go back into your mind. Just notice what kinds of stuff got stirred up there. Actually, we could go a little deeper and sink all that energy in your brain, sink it down into your heart. Check out your heart area. How's your heart doing? You know, we spend so much time in our minds, you never know. You might not have checked out your heart today at all. Can you unclench your heart, let it open, let it uncurl, let it grow? Sink that energy even deeper down into your gut area. Your gut, the gut is the seat of fear and safety. Can you unclench your gut? And then let that feeling flow into the big muscles of your hips and thighs, your seat muscles. Give them all a squeeze. And then let the feeling bubble up your legs, your torso, your face, bubble up all over your body, and push it away. And just sit with that whole body feeling, your whole inner universe. Kiki. Okay, now, you wrote down a feeling here. Let's be kind to ourselves. We're gonna search through that feeling and its opposite. So just ask yourself, which one of those would be the easier one to feel through for you? Okay, like for example, mine was needless suffering. So I'll go ahead and just think of what the opposite of that is now, which would probably be something like pleasurable. So we're probably going to go with that first. What would the opposite of needless suffering be? Hmm, purposeful. What's the opposite of suffering? Pleasure? Purposeful pleasure. Purposeful pleasure. Purposeful pleasure. That's interesting. Okay, so I'm going to pick that one. Pick whatever one works for you. Just like I said, we're going to run through the feeling you picked and its opposite. So you want to pick the feeling that's the easier one to handle first. And let yourself feel it. Scan your whole body. If it helps, imagine a situation where you would have that feeling. Put yourself in a life situation where it would happen. Run through it in your mind. Really let yourself experience that feeling. And whatever is coming up for you, I invite you to slow down into it. Slow it down and sink in. Slow it down and sink in. If you're willing, you can just sink down right to the core of where you're feeling this. Settle on down like a jacuzzi, like you're just sinking in, touching bottom. Sink in and let go. This thing you picked, sink in and let go. Drop your defenses just for a moment. Give up the judgment, the fight. Give up thinking you know. Sink in and let go. Whatever you feel, bring that feeling into your heart. Let it drip down like honey, like raindrops. Let it flow down like a river or a waterfall. Let that feeling flow into your heart. Get connected. Let it sink even deeper into your gut. That feeling sink even deeper. And then let it flow into the big muscles of your hips and thighs. From all the squeeze. And then push the feeling away. Let it bubble up all over your body and push that feeling away. And in its place where we felt whatever we felt, may we also feel peace, relaxation, understanding, compassion, and love. Okay, now it's time for the feeling that you did write down, the one that you were having a hard time with. Okay, brave people. That feeling you picked. That feeling you picked. That feeling you picked. Let yourself feel it. Bit by bit if necessary. One tiny baby step, one grain of rice at a time if necessary. If it helps, imagine a situation where you would feel that feeling. Really run through it in your mind. Put yourself back there. Imagine it happening. Really run through it. Let's see. Oh, man. Oh. And honor whatever you feel. You may have a whole sorts of walls put up so you don't have to feel this feeling. And that's part of the process. Honor those walls. Whatever you felt, not here to judge, just here to notice. And if you are willing, I invite you to slow it down. And sink in like you're settling down to the bottom, into the core of this feeling. Sink in and let go. Sink in and let go.
I'm not really sure I understand that sink in and let go. I see them as kind of opposite.
Yeah, well, it's a process. It's a dynamic process. It's a dynamic process. So the sink in part is really to sort of determine your level of depth that you can, of this feeling that you can handle. You know, some of us we spend a lot of time sort of on the surface of our feeling that are really going down underneath the iceberg where, you know, the vast majority of the rest of it is. So the first part is to see how far can you sink in. And then the let go is to see how far you can let go. A lot of us are a lot of us have a lot of attachments to our feelings, our thoughts, the things we're holding on to. I rarely ever meet a person who can let go entirely. So it's a process, it's a practice. Yeah, you know, the whole practice of feeling our feelings is a process. We live in an emotional universe. It's an ever ongoing spaceship moving through a, you know, space, moving through a space. The emotional world. Never static, not possible, not possible. So applying this to our feelings, step by step, looks like sink in and let go. And honoring whatever that brings up for you. Especially though, if it brings up any frustration or confusion, fears. How much can you drop your resistance? Open up to what your body is trying to tell you. And whatever you felt, honoring what you felt, bring that feeling into your heart. The head does not process feelings. It's the heart's job. The heart's magnetic field is like 10 times stronger than the brain. Bring those feelings into your heart. That feeling that you wrote down and you're having a hard time with, bring it into your heart. Sink it even deeper into your heart. How deep can it go? And you know, this is another one of those contradictory messages, but just let the heart open. Just let it open. You know, the emotional heart is something you can open and close, sink into, blow up, expand, and yet not lose one drop of blood. Then bring that feeling down even deeper into your gut. Honor whatever you feel. And then let that feeling flow into the big muscles of your thighs and hips, your seat muscles. Give them all a squeeze. Let it bubble up all over your body and push that feeling away. Like you're radiating like the sun. Boom, boom. Push it away. And in the places where we felt that feeling, whatever we felt, 100%, may we be filled with peace, understanding, compassion, acceptance, and love. And take a few breaths. The next stage of this exercise is to then take this feeling that you wrote down and to work it through every step from hate, can't accept, don't understand, don't know. Then we'll do a neutral zone. And then we'll move it through the positives range. Know, understand, accept, and love. So we'll take the feeling that you wrote down and we're going to move it from hate all the way up to love. Okay, so that feeling you wrote, that feeling I wrote. Give yourself 3 reasons why you hate it. 3 reasons why you hate it. And, you know, this is your feelings, so honor your feelings.
I'm having a bit of trouble finding reasons why I hate it because it seems so basic. Like my feeling is scared. It seems like I just don't like to be scared. Like, what do I need to have a reason for that?
Oh. Well, I will say that legitimating any feelings automatically gives them a grounding for more to help you work through them. Anger is actually one of the main ways. It's a strategy. If you ever take any kind of fear counseling, it's one of the main ways that you can use to help work through a fear is coming up with reasons to be angry about it. Because often fear and anger cannot exist in the same place at the same time.
The question is, what do I hate about this feeling, or what do I hate when I feel this?
It's both of those.
Okay.
Absolutely both of those. Both of those questions get you in touch with the feeling and your body and your thought process around it. Yeah, that's what this is all about. So what do you hate about it? Give yourself some reason. And hey, you know, if no reasons come up, it's okay to just sit with whatever comes up. Because what may come up is just a feeling of, yeah. And that's okay too. That is totally okay. You may even have like a childhood reaction to some of these things, you know, where you just scream no. You know, I don't like broccoli, you know, and that's okay also. So this is all about honoring your feelings. Okay. 3 reasons why you hate that thing. And this is going to go step by step, so it's very gradational. The next is can't accept. Can't accept. What's some reasons about this thing you picked that you can't accept? I will say though, I do appreciate these questions. It's not easy crying my own stuff up and answering these questions. This is advanced work for me. Getting some good practice here. Also today I picked something that's really hitting me in my heart. Especially as I'm getting older. Me in my heart. And if you came up with 3 reasons for can't accept, the next one is don't understand. Don't understand. What's something about this thing you picked you don't understand? And next is don't know. What is it about this thing you just don't know? Honor whatever you feel. Just honor. Honor whatever you feel. And next is the neutral zone. So what I like to do for neutral zone is put an image in your mind of this problem or with this feeling here. Maybe see yourself engaged in something where it's going on. And then find something in that image that you have no thought about at all. Blade of grass in the background, crack in the ceiling, a fly on the wall, something you got no thought about. No thought about.
Is that within our current environment?
Well, since the important part is the emotional charge, imagine a situation where this feeling is occurring for you. Put yourself somewhere where it's really happening, like when you wrote the worksheet down. Really put yourself in there, and then find something in that scene that has no charge, no meaning for you whatsoever. I was gonna name examples for me. I'm imagining a hookup. We had sex, they're leaving. I have no clue what this person's name even is. Maybe I'm about to say goodbye. They're leaving. They're walking out the door. I really see it. It's still daytime. The tag on their shirt collar. I have no opinion about the tag on their shirt collar. None whatsoever. Zero. None whatsoever. The laces on their shoes. I had no thought about those laces. Whole thing happened. Not one thought went by about those laces. Anchor into that feeling so you can just experience what no thought would feel like. We tend to get really emotionally charged up around this stuff. So you want to just see what neutral would even be. And in that space, ask yourself, are there any assumptions or expectations you are making about this feeling? Any assumptions or expectations you are making about this feeling? Any attempts to manipulate or control your life, other people, yourself, using this feeling? Oh, wow. And next is no. Next is no. Moving up the steps here. What is something about this feeling now? Having gonna run through this, what is something you know? Anything that you can say you know about this feeling. Next is understand. What is it about this feeling you picked that you can say you understand? Next is accept. What is it about this thing that you can say you accept? Accept or respect even. And finally, love. This thing you started off by saying you hated. What's something about this feeling you can say you love? And if nothing emerges, just sit for a bit, just see if anything bubbles up. The beautiful thing about this exercise is that we code so much of our feelings in language of judgment, but then we don't ever actually sit down with the feeling itself. So this gives us an opportunity to really take all those things we say, bring them into the world of our feelings, our emotional universe, really get connected. Now, honor whatever you feel in this space, in this moment. That's not easy doing all that digging. So it's really important to give ourselves some validation for our feelings. And that's another thing that can really help you to make the process easier. Well, I don't know if easier is the word I would use, but it's something that you can use to deepen and enrich and strengthen. And the practice of getting in touch with your feelings is to validate every time you attempt to feel something. So say these words to yourself in your mind or come up with your own statements. I love myself when I feel this feeling. I love myself even when I hate feeling this feeling. I am valuable, whether I feel this feeling or not. This feeling matters. This feeling is important because it matters to me. I have every right to feel the way I feel about this feeling. Anyone who went through or is going through what I'm going through would feel that way. I don't totally understand why I feel the way I feel about this feeling. And I don't have to. I can give it time and space and rest. I let go of this feeling. I let go of the opposite of this feeling. I let go of everything because love is letting go. Hurt, pain, and fear is holding on. Love is letting go. Oh, okay. And that is part 2. So allow your eyes to slowly rise back to the outside world, outer space. Take a moment before we jump into this worksheet. Just take a moment and check in with yourself. See how you're feeling. Yeah, I see it got a lot darker. Oh, take a moment and check in. That might have gone places for you. And then I'm going to guide us all through this worksheet step by step. Okay, so in case you've never even done a Judge Your Neighbor worksheet before, you're going to know how to do it perfectly this one time in the first shot. Okay, I'm going to make this really an emotions-based exercise. Okay, so this is all about you sinking into the feelings of what comes up for you as we go through this worksheet. Okay. Okay, so take number 1. Read to yourself what you wrote for number 1. And ask yourself, is it true? And allow your mind to settle, crystallize onto a yes or no. It might go all over the place. And that's okay. Just let it simmer and settle down into a yes or no. Honor either one. And then ask yourself, especially if you said yes, can you absolutely know what you wrote is true? And personally, if you want my opinion, if you find yourself grumbling, which means yes and no, then you know what? The answer to that's just yes. Don't waste your time grumbling, gritting your teeth, ruining your caps. Just go with the yes. Just honor the yes. So the next question is, how do you feel? What happens to your life? How do you react when you think this thought? What happens to your life when you think this thought? And who would you be without this thought? And I always say, it's okay to say, I don't know. You might have thought this thought so many times, you have no idea who you'd be without that thought. And that's okay too. Okay, so let's turn this thought around. The first one is to make this thought about yourself. So to take everything that's a noun here and turn it around and make it about you. So, if it was, I am angry with Paul because he lied to me, it would be, I am angry with me because I lied to me. And in any case where an I may not work, you can always use my thinking, my ego, or my love, my inner child, and see what comes up for you. See what truth emerges. Okay, so give that a shot. And ideally, it's an open-mindedness exercise. So you want to find at least one way that turnaround is true. And the next one is to make it about the other. So you take what you wrote and all the I's and me's, turn them into you's and them's. Make it about the other. And that's if that's possible. Sometimes that's not always possible. So just see if that's possible. Also notice if you find yourself having any kind of extreme oh hell no reactions, because those are those are golden. Or if you find yourself reluctantly agreeing, like, yeah, I guess that's true. Well, the odds are high it probably really is true, and you just don't want to admit it. Mm. 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 And then the final turnaround is opposites. So take any part of what you wrote and just turn it around to an opposite word, and then search for any truth in that meaning. Mm. Mm. Mm.
What's the opposite of the feeling of frustration?
I'd go with pleased personally.
Please. Okay.
You know, search your heart. Search your heart. What's the opposite for you? You know. Oh, that is just. Oh. Okay, let's go on to number 2. Read what you wrote for number 2. And ask yourself, is it true? Can you absolutely know that it's true? How do you react when you believe that thought? How do you react? What does your life look like? And who would you be without that thought? Okay, let's turn the thought around. Take what you wrote and make it about the self, my thinking, my ego. And turn it around to the other if possible. And then the opposites, any other opposites you can make. Any other opposites you can make. Mm. And again, we're just searching for at least one way in which that opposite is true. This is a great exercise in cognitive behavioral therapy. You know, we're really attached to these thoughts. So you can find just a couple of ways in which the opposite is true. It can blow your mind open. Okay, let's try number 3. Read what you wrote. And ask yourself, is it true? Can you absolutely know that it's true? How do you feel when you think that thought? Hmm. Hmm. And who would you be without that thought? And then let's turn it around. Make it about the self. Me, my thinking, my ego. And you can learn interesting things if you insert a me or an I in various places. Sometimes it helps any place there's a noun, you can put a me. So you can always add a me, take out a me, and see what comes up for you. Oh. Next is turning it around to the other, if possible. Mm, mm, yeah. And then any other opposites you can make. Any other opposites. Oh. And just whatever comes up for you. This is all about your feelings, okay? It's, you know, this is getting in touch with your feelings in written form, using your thoughts. Just get in touch with your feelings. Whatever comes up is valid because you are feeling it. You don't have to totally understand why you even feel that way, and it is 100% valid. Okay, number four. Number four, for you to be happy. This is a really important one here. So number four, read what you wrote. And ask yourself, is it true? Can you absolutely know that it's true? How do you feel when you think that thought? And who would you be without that thought? Yeah, so let's turn the thought around. Make it about the self, me, my thinking, my ego, or my love. Next is to make it about the other. Turn the me's to you's and the they's to me's. And then the opposites. Any opposites, any other kind of opposites. Whoa. Almost done. We're almost done. Next is number 5. Read what you wrote. And why don't we just go ahead and cut to the point and make it about you? And don't just run through, really sit with each one. Sit with each thing you wrote. Really search for it. And if you'd like, you can turn all the adjectives around. See, you can find the truth in that too. Oh boy, we're gonna have a nice little conversation when this is over. And then number 6. Read what you wrote. And then for number 6, what we do is we replace the words "I don't ever want" with "I am willing to" and "I look forward to." So read read "I am willing to" and then read what you wrote. And then just sit with the feeling of what comes up for you. And if possible, any way that it's true. And then finally, I look forward to. Say, I look forward to, and read what you wrote. And just sit with the feeling. Find just one way that's true. And then give yourself a humongous hug because you did it. You totally motherfucking did it. All right. You just dug into your feelings. And in one of the, probably in a super deep way, you may have never dug into them before. give yourself a lot of love here, a lot of love. Whatever you felt, you're a hero here, okay? You're the hero of your life. You're learning how to dig this deep, okay? So let's talk. Let's talk. How are you feeling? What came up for you? Any realizations? Anything at all? If I could go first.
Sure.
So, what came up for me as I started doing this, when we were doing some of the other meditations, what came up for me was that feeling. That feeling is totally needless suffering. It's totally a judgment. It's a judgment that I put on me, a judgment I put on other people. That what's needless? Like, how am I supposed to define what needless is? And when I saw that, I realized this is really me really putting a lot of stress and headache and pressure on myself. And that's the first thing that came up for me. And then as we were going through the worksheet, I realized that I put a lot of expectations on my dating life. I put a lot of expectations on my partners. I put a lot, I turned people into goals. I turned my partners into goals because I would like to settle down and have that family and all that stuff. So I turned people into goals, and nobody deserves to be a goal. People are just people, you gotta get to know people for what they were. I don't want anyone to turn me into a goal. I'm a person, a whole human being. I just really took in how much I've been kind of like controlling people as a way to manage my own feelings of wanting to be emotionally fulfilled in a relationship. And that's why I'm so frustrated. I'm frustrating me. I am frustrating me full tilt 100%. 100%. It's not them. It was never dating and sex, ever. It never was. It's 100% me. Yeah. Anyone else? How you feeling?
Yeah, well, I also had a lot of resistance to what is and what the other person is. So there's a need to control, and also turning people into goals or projects. I noticed that too. And the looking forward part was really interesting. Looking forward to being scared because it'll give me the opportunity to be courageous. That was a good framing for me.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Very brave of you also. Mm-hmm. Hey, your microphone's on. You're on mute, Will.
Oops. So it's the part of me that I was working through was the part of me that was always critical of my voice, of speaking, and just letting my emotions flow. But I realized that it has a use, that limiting part. It's ensuring that I speak the truth, like the universal truth, not just the truth that is, or not what is, I guess, what I'm attracted to at the moment, but the ultimate timeless truth. That's what I need to speak, and that's the part of me that that's the usefulness of the part that limits my speech, so that I don't go overboard and just.
You don't go overboard and blurt out the universal truth.
No, that I just blurt out untruths.
The untruth.
Yeah, that might feel like it's a truth at the moment for me, but really isn't, because maybe the soul hasn't developed enough to know what the ultimate truth is. And so that limiting part of me is there to ensure that whatever I speak is the universal truth.
So you see the benefit of your patience.
The benefit of the, I guess the part that limits my speech.
Yeah.
The part that limits my speech is the discernment of what is true, eternally true, and which only, I'm not sure what the exact word is, but like what's true in the moment versus the eternal truth. Like, I'm not sure like what that other word is the truth for me in this moment.
Well, what we do know is that those two things are very conflicting.
I guess it's to speak from a balanced mind and heart, not let one override the other.
I can hear that. Well, that balance is so important. That balance is so important. Yeah.
The heart and mind, so that whatever flows through my mouth comes from those two places rather than just one spot. Often it's my mind.
Quite often, I'm sure. Yeah. Absolutely. The balance. The balance. And, you know, I said happiness, what this was all about, but really balance is what this is all about. Living in balance, you'd be happy. Oh, wonderful. Okay, so as you can see, this was an extensive ego-killing exercise. It went places for sure, but it's a wonderful way to get in touch with everything you are thinking and feeling. It allows us to take all the previous exercises and put them all together into one format. But of course, you can always break this apart into its separate parts, so you can, at any given moment, work on your feelings in whatever way works for you, okay? The idea of going this deep is to give you the real deal, you know? Like, you know, I could give you some cute handouts and we could talk about, you know, some cute fun stuff with feelings. We could totally do that. And with kids, I probably will do a lot more with that, with the children. But let's face it, you know, we're not going to be young forever. We got to get somewhere with this, you know. We don't want to be 50, 60, 70 still trying to heal things up, right? We got plans, okay? So hopefully this helped you. And if it helped in any way, please share with other people. Please see yourself as a source of emotional knowledge, that you can share this stuff with other people to help them with their thoughts and feelings. Please feel free to come to any future classes. Like I said, starting in November, we will have the advanced series, which is going to start with, which is all inner child work, but we're going to start with inner baby work, which is self-soothing exercises. So well, I can talk about that later. I just posted it on Meetup, so you can take a look at that as well. But yeah, just feel free to share this with as many people as possible, and to help people, because everyone's dealing with such a hard time right now. We all need to see ourselves as someone who can help somebody with their feelings. Okay. Does anybody have anything they want to say at all? Anything?
Thank you again for creating this space for this.
Well, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. And this space is gonna be here all, you know, next year until I'm gone, till life ends for me. For all I know, this is what I'm gonna be doing. This is my life's work here. Okay, the higher power has told me so. So yeah, anytime you have any thoughts or feelings you want to work with, bring people, bring them.
For sure.
Okay, everyone. Well, with that, I will stop the recording and wish everyone a happy rest of your weekend and rest of your weekend and next week. And if you're interested, I'll be so happy to see you all in November for the advanced series.
Yeah, I'll most likely subscribe to that.
Doc,
Thank you.